I was already standing when the judge called my name. Tie straight, spine steady, breath measured. My father sat behind me, hands folded like he was praying for mercy he never taught me how to ask for. I got ready to speak. That's when he found out who took his place. The room smelled like paper and old promises. My lawyer brushed my sleeve once, subtle, rehearsed. The signal meant everything was aligned. I didn't look back at my father. I didn't need to. I could feel his confidence leaking. He thought blood still meant immunity. It never did. I remember when he first taught me how power works, not with kindness, with absence. I was 12 when he skipped my graduation, 14 when he forgot my birthday, 17 when he told me love was a liability and results were the only inheritance. He built an empire from discipline and fear. At dinner, silence was approval, questions were weakness, affection was earned in quarterly reports. I wanted his approval the way men want oxygen, quietly, desperately, without admitting it. So I worked. I learned his business faster than he expected. I memorized contracts before bedtime. I absorbed his rules like scripture. He called me useful once. I framed it in my mind like praise. The betrayal didn't arrive loudly. It crept in, dressed as restructuring. First, my authority was temporarily reassigned. Then my meetings were postponed indefinitely. Emails stopped copying me. Decisions happened without me. I told myself it was strategy. I told myself he was testing me. Then I saw the signature. A new COO, same last name, different blood. His nephew, younger, hungrier, louder. The kind of boy my father liked, unburdened by loyalty. The day I found the amended will was the day something in me went cold. Not shattered, sharpened. He hadn't just replaced me in the company, he'd erased me from the future. I didn't confront him. That would have been emotional, and emotion was always my father's favorite weakness in other people. Instead, I observed. I tracked cash flows he never bothered to hide from me because he thought I was irrelevant. Now I watched him lean on old loopholes, outdated protections, lazy arrogance. I listened while he underestimated silence. He taught me that too. I waited. I built leverage the way he built his empire, patiently, invisibly, without apology. I bought debt he forgot existed. I called in favors he thought had expired. I documented everything he assumed no one would question. I didn't want revenge. I wanted symmetry. By the time he realized something was wrong, it was already finished. Banks froze accounts, board members stopped returning his calls, regulators asked questions that only had honest answers, and honesty had never been his strength. I stayed quiet. I let the noise do its job. Then came today. The hearing wasn't about punishment. It was about succession. The judge asked me if I wished to address the court. I stood. My father finally looked at me, then really looked. Fear suits men like him poorly. It exposes the cracks they spend lifetimes hiding. I'm not here to take anything from him, I said calmly. That would imply he ever gave it to me. A murmur moved through the room. I spoke about contribution, about stewardship, about responsibility, words he used to weaponize, now cutting in reverse. I presented the documents, the numbers, the inevitable math of consequence. When the judge nodded, it was quiet, final. My father's empire didn't collapse. It transferred, orderly, legal, surgical. He opened his mouth to speak, to argue, to remind the world who he was. That's when he found out who took his place. Afterward, he followed me into the hallway. "You planned this," he said. His voice cracked like old wood. I turned for the first time. I didn't look up at him. "You taught me how," I replied. He searched my face for guilt, for apology, for the son who begged for recognition. All he found was distance. I walked away before he could say my name. People ask if it felt good. That's the wrong question. It felt clean, like closing a door that was never meant to be opened, like returning a borrowed weight. I didn't destroy him. I treated him exactly the way he treated me, with logic, with detachment, with the understanding that love without respect is just leverage waiting to be misused. I don't hate my father. Hate is loud. This was quiet. This was justice with his handwriting on it. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like his son. I felt like his successor.